Iron Spells and Spellbooks is a really cool mod, but because it's a magic mod, I tend to not really do that much with it because I focus more on technology. Because of that, when it got time to make the mod star, there were 3 things that I was missing from this mod, and I didn't know how to make any of them because I hadn't done any of the basic stuff with it. So this video is specifically designed if you're trying to make the mod star, but you haven't done anything with Iron Spells and Spellbooks yet. This is the bare minimum that you have to do in order to get the items that you need to craft your star. So in this video, we're going to go through how to get the 2 upgrade orbs and the Wither Scroll, and I'm going to try my very hardest to leave chapters down below. So if there's one in particular you're having a hard time getting, you can go exactly to where you need to go so that you can get the information that you actually need. I hope this video is helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get to it. All right, so the 3 items we're looking for from Iron Spells and Spellbooks, we're looking for the Wither Skull Scroll, try saying that 3 times fast, the Fire Upgrade Orb, and the Lightning Upgrade Orb. Out of all 3 of these, the Lightning Upgrade Orb is probably the hardest, and if you get the Upgrade Orbs first, it'll be a lot easier to get the Wither Skull Scroll. So let's start with the Fire Upgrade Orb, then we'll move to the Lightning, and finally we'll hit the Wither. So for the Fire Upgrade Orb, we're looking at needing 8 Fire Runes and an empty Upgrade Orb. The Fire Runes are pretty simple. You need a blank Runestone with some Blaze Rods around it. And then the empty Upgrade Orb is just some Cinder Essence, Mithril Ingots, and Arcane Ingots. Cinder Essence, we're going to look at how to get in just a second. Mithril Ingots, you actually have to find and mine. It's a resource that you find in the world, usually at really, really low levels, about near bedrock. All you do is throw it into a blast furnace and it turns it from raw mithril into this mithril scrap, which you can then craft 4 of into a mithril ingot. Now, the best ways to get this is probably using a digital miner with the silk touch on it, and then mining those ore blocks with some sort of really high level fortune pick. That way you get a lot more of the raw mithril per block that you mine. And then the arcane ingots, simply arcane essence, surrounded by either a copper, an iron, or a gold ingot. Now we're going to get quite a bit of this arcane essence, especially if you have a sword with looting on it. However, if you don't have that and you find yourself needing more, the best way to do that is to go and get yourself a bee. The arcane essence bee is not very difficult to make. You just have to take 8 arcane essence and surround a diamond bee spawn egg. If you're looking for how to make the spawn eggs, go check out the bee video. And then also, if you find yourself needing more mithril and not having enough, you can also make, using the arcane essence bee and an iron bee, the mithril bee. All right, so that's all the basics for now. Let's go get the first thing we're going to need. So first things first, we're going to craft ourselves what is called a mob swab. We're going to need 2 of these total, but we're going to start with just 1. The next thing we're going to need is we're going to need a structure compass, which is now called an explorer's compass. And I would highly recommend getting this because the structure we're looking for is incredibly rare and the odds that you're going to just find it is incredibly low. So from there, I'm going to RTP so I don't go to the one closest to my house because I know I've already been to that one. All right, so here we are. What we're going to look for is up at the top, put an @ symbol and put iron. This will pull up all of the source locations for Iron Spells and Spellbooks. And the one we're specifically looking for is this catacombs here. We're going to click on that one. It'll tell us the closest one to us. It's about 736 blocks away. We're going to fly on over to it. All right, we made it here. I'm just going to dig straight down. For those who don't know, there's a small tunnel option, which you can actually dig basically a straight hole down in the ground. And so if you don't take fall damage like my armor, you can kind of just keep going straight down, which is incredibly handy. All right, now once you're here, I'm going to zoom in on my map a little bit. You can see an icon, zoom out one more. You can see an icon there directly where my guy is pointing. That's the Dead King. That's exactly where we're trying to head. All right, here's what the room looks like. There's the Dead King. Now, it is important before the Dead King actually fully wakes up that you use the mob swab on him. Now, you want to make sure that he has started waking up first, but is not completely woken up. So to show you what I mean, you come up here and you punch him. He'll start waking up. In this process right here, right click him. Then you got your mob swab. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually take this guy and we're going to create a mob spawner of him. He does do a lot of damage. I would recommend having quite a decent set of armor and probably a decent sword as well, because otherwise he will hurt a lot. But if you got a good sword, this is all you can get from him. So this is what I was saying earlier. We're going to get a ton of the arcane essence from this. We are also going to get a whole bunch of spells and the blank rune stones, which is what we really want to get from here. So all of those blank rune stones that we're going to need to create the upgrade orbs, that's what we're going to get from the Dead King. So we'll throw all of that back in our inventory. We will go /home. We want to craft this into a feed. So we create a chicken feed using a bucket of XP, the mob swab, and some seeds. We're going to take that and we're going to feed it to a chicken if we can find one. There we go. And then that gives us the Dead King corpse spawn egg. So that's what we're going to use. /home. We're going to grab ourselves a spawner. In this case, I'm just using Vindicator spawners that I got from the dungeon in the other. They tend to spawn things really fast and it's incredibly effective. Next up, we kind of just need a place for this. So I'm going to go dig out a hole over here real quick. Try to keep everything contained. Then we're going to place our spawner down and we are going to use the Dead King corpse spawn egg on it. Kill all those guys that spawned. You'll see this will start spawning these Dead King corpses and it'll spawn it incredibly quickly because those Vindicator spawners are pretty intense. One thing I want to do with this for sure is get a red stone comparator. And we're going to use this on the spawner so that we can control it with redstone. That way, we can turn it off and it doesn't keep spawning it. I'm not too worried about it just because, like, I can kill these all pretty quickly. But make sure you're using as high of a level of fortune as you possibly can. Now we have to kill the smallest number of these possible. All right, so that there was like 3 minutes maybe worth of fighting those guys. And my inventory is so full I can't hold anymore. Like, there is so much stuff. These guys will give you so much drops. You will get a ridiculous amount of arcane essence. And more of these blank rune stones than you could possibly know what to do with. These scrolls, however, can be incredibly useful. You may actually get some of the wither scrolls that you need from it just by doing this. We'll pick all of that up to my ME system real quick, drop all the rest of it back off in there, and then that's really all we need the Dead King for. I'm gonna fly away because that noise is getting really annoying. All right, so once you have the Dead King, the only real other thing you're gonna need is Cinder Essence. Cinder Essence is basically just as hard to get. However, it goes through a slightly different process. So instead of going to get the Dead King, we now need to go get the Ancient Knight. The Ancient Knight is in the Nether, so we're going to head there. And then once again, we're going to want to use our Explorer's Compass. We'll open it up. We will search for @iron, and we're going to look for this Ancient Battleground. That's where we're going to be heading. All right, this is what an Ancient Battleground looks like. It just looks like a whole bunch of ruins and stuff like that. There's really not a whole lot here. I think there's a couple chests and you can get some scrap from here. What you're really looking for is to use your second mob swab that we built. We're going to use it on one of these armor piles. So if you break one of the armor piles, it will spawn an Ancient Knight. Use a mob swab on that. And you don't have to use one of the armor piles and break it. You could also come over here and use the trial spawner. That works too. I just find it's easier to break one of the armor piles so it doesn't just keep spawning things. Once you have your mob swab, you can /home. Then we're going to take this mob swab. We're going to make the feed again. We're going to go find a chicken. We're going to feed it to it, and we're going to get the spawn egg. Same process before. We get one of these Ancient Knight spawn eggs. We use it on a spawner. We get an Ancient Knight spawner. We're going to take this one, go back into our cave, and we're going to set it up in there right next to our Dead King one. A little further away, so that way the lever doesn't trigger both. But then you get a whole bunch of these Ancient Knights. So we're going to kill them all, and we're going to pick up what they drop, which is primarily a whole ton of netherite, but also some of this Cinder Essence. We're also going to get a whole bunch of these scraggly swords and some pickaxes and stuff like that. Like, there are other things that they drop, but the big things we're looking for here is just this Cinder Essence. So once you have enough of that, you can turn that off, and you can throw all of that into whatever storage system you have. And those are the only two mobs we really need to farm like this. So from there, once you have your Mithril, your Arcane Essence, and your Cinder Essence, you should be able to make those blank upgrade orbs, or these empty upgrade orbs here. You craft a couple of them. You see it takes the Mithril, the Arcane Ingots, the Mithril Ingots, Arcane Essence, Cinder Essence, a little bit of gold to make these empty upgrade orbs. I would need to go get some more Mithril. But I've already made all I actually need in this world, so I'm not worried about that. That's how you get the empty upgrade orbs. From there, you have to turn the tablets into fire tablets and lightning tablets. So for the fire upgrade orb, you need fire runes, which is just blaze rods and those blank rune stones we got before. Very simple to make. For the lightning upgrade orbs, you need lightning in a bottle and the blank rune stones. For lightning in a bottle, the easiest way I found to get this, like it says, you have to use an empty bottle on a charged creeper to obtain it. So what I did is I got a whole bunch of creeper spawners upstairs, and then I made a whole bunch of these lightning grenades, which are craftable and part of the Evil Craft mod. Really, all you need in order to craft the lightning grenades is ender pearls and then thunderstruck weather containers. To get the weather containers, all you have to do is literally get any type of weather container from one of those environmental accumulators. The environmental accumulators are just the things that send the big giant green beam of light up into the sky. They look exactly like this right here. And all you're going to do in order to get one of these thunderstruck weather containers is put an empty weather container inside of it, let it charge up, and then if it's sunny outside, you take the sunny one, combine it with 2 water buckets to get a rainy one, and then take the rainy one, combine it with 2 glowstone dust, and you'll have your thunderstruck one. And that gives you 8 of these lightning grenades, which is more than enough if you're just crafting 1 star and almost enough if you're crafting like the 18 that you would need for the Starry Bee. So we take these lightning grenades that we have here and we take some empty bottles. A couple stacks will do just fine. Set yourself up some creeper spawners. I did it just like this. You can really do it however you want. The important part is you just need some creepers. They're going to run away from me because I have the kitty slippers on, so they don't like being near me, which is fine. I don't mind. And then once you have enough of them built up, throw one of those grenades at them, and you have a whole bunch of charged creepers that you can then grab a whole bunch of these lightning bottles from. So just right click them all, grab a whole bunch of these lightning bottles, and then you're good to make the lightning orbs. So that is the only thing special that you have to do to get the lightning orbs over the fire orbs. And that's the best way that I've found to do it so far. All right, last but not least, we need to get the Wither Skull Scroll. So these Wither Skull Scrolls are pretty simple to make, but you need the level 10 one, which is a legendary one, in order for it to count for your ATM Star. Now, like it shows here, you take a level 9 one, you combine it with legendary ink, and you can get the level 10. However, for the level 9 one, you can actually craft it using a blood vial, paper, and legendary ink on a scroll forge. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a level 9 one and then use our arcane anvil to upgrade it to a level 10. Now, the only part that I found even slightly difficult about this was how to get the blood vials, because there isn't really a lot of documentation on it. It doesn't really showcase how to do that. So the way I figured out how to do it was you take one of these alchemist cauldrons, which are pretty simple to make. All you're looking at is a cauldron, that's cinder essence, some arcane essence, it's some iron, which is just more iron for that cauldron, and you place it on top of a campfire. From there, you surround it all, sort of like a basic Minecraft mob farm a little bit, like this right here, where the mob will have to fall down into there and will sit inside of it. Grab really any spawn egg. You could use a spawner. All you really need to do is get some sort of an entity in here. We're going to spawn him into there. And he will should sit. He didn't. And then you're going to want to like cap off the top a little bit so that way they can't stand on the side of this. That way when you spawn them in, they have to fall into it. So from there, spawn them inside of the bottom of this thing. It's not going to work 100% of the time, but it'll help fill this thing up pretty quickly. And then once you can see that it's got blood inside of there, take yourself a glass bottle and then right click that inside of there. That'll give you your blood vials. So from there, the rest of it's pretty easy. The legendary ink, I got a ton of simply by killing all of the dead kings. However, you can make it. There's a process for that. I assume, though, if you follow the same steps that I'm following, that you will also have a ridiculous amount of legendary ink. So from there, let's grab our paper, our legendary ink, and we're going to come over here to the scroll forge, put the legendary ink, the paper, and the blood vial in, and we make the Wither Skull Scroll. Now remember, these are just level 9. So then we're going to have to take our legendary ink and come over here and combine it in the arcane anvil to make it the level 10. So that right there is how you make the level 10 Wither Skull Scroll. I'm sure there's a better way to do this part of it right here, but that's the best that I could think of. If I used a mob spawner and I had no AI on these guys, so they would just fall straight in and die, and then I could get a whole bunch more blood a lot quicker, but I wasn't really looking to optimize this, and it was pretty quick like it was. And there you have it. That's how you craft all 3 of the items that you need for the All the Mod Star, specifically from Iron Spells and Spellbooks. Now, like I said, there's a whole bunch more to this mod that can be incredibly useful. I tend to not do it, but if you want to do it, feel free to check it out. Also, if you know a better or simpler way to accomplish any of the 3 goals that we just talked about, please feel free to leave those in the comment section down below. There's a lot of people that watch these videos to figure out how to work their way through these mod packs just like everybody else, and so your comments are incredibly helpful. Don't forget to turn on notifications. We're starting season 3 of All the Mods 10 really soon, and you're not going to want to miss it. Don't forget, you're special, and I'll see you guys in the next one.